Hello, viewers. Wishing you all a very happy, healthy, and prosperous year 2021. This is the year of hope. The past year 2020 gave the humankind an unprecedented learnings, reflections of life in every sphere of our activities, be it personal, family, relationship, work, or business. Let us step ahead with the year of hope 2021, and not just hope but act in such a way that we are preparing ourselves to face and be prepared for any such situation in the future. Action transforms hope into result. Once again, wishing you all a great year ahead and make our hopes and dreams come true. Thank you. So, in this session, today we will be seeing the list of account, the chart of account, and we will try to understand the structure. How do we interpret them? How do we read them? How do we understand the hierarchy of the accounting structure? Okay, so let me quickly share my screen. So first we will see the chart of account in Tally ERP, and we will try and understand the structure. Okay. So I'm going to select the company. You remember that in the last session, we created this company with the abbreviation, and now we know how to go and access the chart of account report. So from gateway of Tally, we go to display. So I'm going to press D, which is our hotkey, and in the display menu you will see a menu which says list of account. You will see this list of account, and Tally also, if you notice, it gives you the navigation path. So we were in gateway of Tally. From gateway of Tally we came into display menu, and in under display menu we have another menu called list of account, and the hotkey for list of account is L. I'm going to press L now. So this we saw in the last session, the list of default groups and ledger that Tally provides the moment you create a company. So the 28 groups and two ledgers. Now it is very important for us to understand this structure and identify. Now it is very easy and simple because we have 28 groups, and the largest list here has to be group. So how do we identify? And there are two ledgers. So if we have to identify the two ledger, how do we identify? So first let us identify the group. It's very simple. So all those names that we are seeing in bold is the group. And we learned in one of our previous session that group is a collection of similar nature of ledger, and ledger is the one where we are going to start capturing the transactions related to that particular ledger. So we all the name that we see here in bold is a group. And how do we identify a ledger? So we have two ledgers, so it is again easy. Now for the time being, don't worry about the name which is in the bracket. Okay, we will discuss about this. This is basically an alias, right? So we will discuss when we come to our accounting master, ledger creation, group creation. We will discuss about that. Okay, so now how do you identify a ledger? Again, it is very simple. So we see this one name which is in italics, cash. Okay, and you keep coming down. Okay, and then you see the last name again, profit and loss account, is in italics. Okay, so these are the two ledgers that Tally provides by default. Okay, so we must be wondering, I mean, why this two ledger? Why not any other ledger? Right? So if you see, every company is not going to say that they don't deal in cash. Okay, so cash ledger is required by every business, so that is why Tally gives you the cash ledger. And the profit and loss account ledger, the profit and loss account ledger, Generally, if you see, the user is not going to use the profit and loss account ledger. But then why this profit and loss account ledger is provided by Tally? It is basically for Tally to start capturing the profit or loss arising out of the business operations. Like if you see, we have seen the profit and loss account, right? In the profit and loss account, we have income, and then on the left hand side, we have expenses, right? So now we also learned how do we arrive at profit or loss, or what is the formula that we apply to arrive at profit or loss. So it's very simple, right? So income minus expenses is the result which is going to tell us whether the company is made a profit or loss. So if there is an excess of income, that means the company is made a profit. And if there is an excess of expenditure over income, that means the company has incurred a loss for that period. So the balancing figure, okay, has to get captured. So the difference between your income minus expenses, whether it is in positive, a positive is a profit, or whether it is in negative, a negative is a loss. So that figure, the net figure after reducing expenditure from income, that figure is what will get captured in the profit and loss account. So that is why generally you don't the user is not going to use this profit and loss account throughout the year. Yes, supposing if you want to transfer the profit to partners capital account or current account, or you want to transfer the profit to the proprietor's capital account or current account, so you would do this last entry for the financial year by transferring the amount of profit uh, in the profit and loss account to the capital account or current account. So we will also see that when we get into the finalization of books of account, how do we use this profit and loss account, and how do we transfer the profit uh, of the financial year to the proprietors or partners capital account or current account. Okay, so, so this is clear. The name in bold is a group, and the name that we see in italics is a ledger. Okay, the next challenge. Just observe my cursor here. You see this current asset. So the current asset, if you see, is to the extreme left of the screen. And just below that, we see this bank account, cash account, okay, which are slightly intended to the right, okay, from the current asset. So now how do we interpret this structure, or how do we interpret this hierarchy, right? Again, it is very simple. So the bank account and cash in hand account both are grouped because they are in bold, and they are the subgroup under the group called current asset. So the current asset is a parent group, and bank account and cash account are subgroup under the current asset. So that way, if you see, now it becomes very easy for us to understand the structure. So we see here current liabilities. Now, under current liabilities, you will notice there are three subgroups, right? Yes, duties and taxes, provisions, and sundry creditors. So these are subgroups. So which means under a group, if the user wants and if there is a need for the user to create a further subgroup, you can create it under the group. Now these are default groups which Tally provides. Now what can you do with this default group? You can rename the default group, but you cannot delete the default group that is provided by Tally. You can rename them, and you can further create any number of sub level or subgroups under any of this group. Okay. Then next, we'll have to see the next hierarchy. So again, let us take the same example of current asset. So now we understood that current asset is the, if you consider current asset as the parent account, so under current asset, we have seen bank account, we have seen cash in hand. In fact, if you see, all these continuously are in the same line under current asset. So bank account, cash in hand account, deposit account, loans and advances asset, stock in hand, sundry debtors. These are all subgroup under your current asset. But if you notice here, cash in hand, just below cash in hand, we saw this name called cash, which now we identified this as a ledger because it is in italics. So now this cash ledger, if you see, is again slightly indented to the right from cash in hand group. So how do we interpret this? How do we understand the structure? Okay, so it is very simple. Cash account is a ledger under group called cash in hand. So you can again create any number of ledgers under any group or under any subgroup. Okay, so that is why if you see, I had mentioned in the previous session that this chart of account or the list of account, what the title we see in Tally ERP, and we saw the title as chart of account in Tally Prime. So this is like your blueprint of your structure of your organization, right? So this is the place where you have to actually visit here and start creating your masters, and then have a instantaneous or a real-time visualization of the structure of your account. Okay, so this way it gives you a broad thing. And like I mentioned, for a better MIS for your organization, okay, it all depends on how well you create your structure. Okay, the question might come, okay, now I create the structure, then maybe say after couple of weeks or couple of months I feel that I need to change the structure. Now, is it possible in Tally? Can I change the structure? Because I would have already passed so many transactions for the ledgers. Is it possible? Yes, it is very, very easy to regroup and rearrange your structure as required by you progressively, right? So you don't have to really worry. All the transactions will be intact, and you can very easily and simply I mean, like, regroup them or move them or create an additional group, and then you can move your ledgers to the newly created groups or subgroup. So that flexibility is always there, and you can have complete confidence in the software that it is not going to mess up with your transactions or data. So we will also see later when we come to a situation where we would want to regroup. We will create a use case in such a way so that I will also demonstrate and show how we can regroup them, even though there are transactions or vouchers captured for your masters. Mm. So now, generally, ideally, what you should be doing is that this is the place where you should be start creating your initial masters. See, you would have created, or it will be your chart of account will be there in your mind, right? So how do I start creating the masters? So there is a menu way of going and creating the master, but since we are in the chart of account, I'm also going to basically explain about what are the other things that we can do from the chart of account. Okay, so the first thing is that what we have to understand is that how do we now create a ledger or create a master. Okay, so very simple. Now again, this is one of the trick, and you really don't have to I'm like memorize what I'm saying. Like, if you remember our secret number one, right? Can you recall our secret number one? Yes. Okay, our right hand side and bottom button bar, right? So if you see at the bottom, it says very clearly there is a button which says create master. The keyboard shortcut is alt C because C has got a single underline. So if you want to create a master, you just press alt C. Tally will allow you to create the master. And the best part, by creating the master from the chart of account, is that immediately you will know whether you have group that master in the appropriate parent group. Okay, so that way it is going to help you so that that the structure what you have in your mind is getting created here for your organization. And then if you want to alter, in case if there is any spelling mistake, or you want to alter the ledgers group by mistake, you would have put them in a wrong group. If you want to alter, you can alter from the chart of account, this screen itself. So here we have to now understand, how do we create the master, and what type of master will you create, and how will you now create those masters. Like for example, let's say you want to create a group. For some reason you want to create a group. So how do you create a group? Now we know that Alt C is to create a master, right? And or let us say I want to create a ledger, right? So how do I create a ledger? Very simple. Okay, this is one of the trick that you have to remember, right? If you want to create a group, very simple, just make sure that your cursor is on the group. So here majority of them are group, right? So you can just put your cursor on any group, and then you have to use the shortcut button, I mean the keyboard shortcut button, which is your create master, Alt C. So I'm going to press Alt C, and now Tally is taking you to the group creation master, right? So we will discuss about the how do we create the master, what is this under, what is the parent, and all those things. I'm just now going to just show you a glimpse of how you can use the chart of account report screen to create your master. Okay, so I'm just going to escape. I'm not going to create any master. So remember, if you want to create a group, make sure that your cursor is on any of the group name, irrespective of what group you want to create. Don't worry. Now, if you want to create a ledger, yes, your cursor has to be on the ledger. So we already have two default ledger which Tally is provided. So take your cursor to one of the ledger, which is your cash ledger, and now you press Alt C, and now you will see this is the ledger creation master. Okay, so there's a slight difference. We will discuss about each and every field of the group creation, each and every field of ledger master creation. Okay, the basic information, and also what are the advanced configurations that we can do in the group creation and the ledger creation in the upcoming sessions. So this is how you create your ledger. Okay. Now, if you want to alter, very simple. So the keyboard shortcut says you just select the name, a particular group or ledger where you want to alter. So I want to alter my cash ledger, for example. So what I do, I have selected cash ledger and I press enter. It is now taking you to the alteration screen where you can go and change the group in case if they are wrongly grouped. And if you want to provide any other additional information, for example, you have created your sundry debtors ledger, you have created your sundry creditors ledger, and probably you would have not captured their GSTIN or their address and various other information while creating initially. But now you have those information, and if you want to add any information, modify any information, you can always, change that, and then you can accept the screen. Okay, so this is how you alter your existing master. There could be some spelling error which you could correct it. So again, similarly, if you want to alter your name of the group or the parent of the group, you can always go there and then you can alter them. And there are various other options which are there, which we will see in the group creation. Very interesting options are there in the group creation. We will take use cases, and then we will see what is the relevance of this, and what impact it gives you, and what benefit it gives you to your business organization. Okay, so this is about our chart of accounts. So we have understood the hierarchy. We are now able to identify a group, and we are able to identify a ledger. Why this is important? Why are we discussing this? Because in every report of Tally, if we notice going forward, you will see the same kind of hierarchy. The group will be in bold or it will be in the normal character, and all your ledgers, wherever the ledgers are getting reported, you will see all the ledger name in italics. So that is why it is important for us to understand the structure and the hierarchy of group, subgroup, and also identification of a ledger. Okay. So this is about our accounting master. Okay. So the next question is that if I have inventory, if I have done all those inventory and other masters, if I have created, I am seeing my accounting master. If I want to see my inventory master, now Tally has a lot of other features which we will be covering as we move forward. Okay, so I'm just giving you some example. Like you have inventory masters, then you have there are some default voucher types. We will also understand and see what are these voucher types. So there are default voucher types, and user can create a voucher type, right? You can have stock groups created. Then you have cost centers, okay, and then you have go downs. So these are all your masters, right? So every master you can actually view them in form of a map in the list of accounts. So we are seeing the by default whenever you go in Tally ERP, whenever you go to the list of account, Tally is going to bring by default the accounting master. Okay, now let's assume that you have already have inventory masters, you have so many other masters, code masters, voucher type masters, or you want to see what are the default voucher type. Tally gives you the moment you create your company. So how do we now view them, right? Remember your secret number one, right? On the right hand side button bar, you will see all the buttons for viewing various other masters if you have already created, right? So you can view them. Otherwise also the buttons are available, so you know that these are the masters. After you create them, you can view them and see them in the hierarchical fashion. Okay, so let me just quickly come to the right hand side. Okay, and you will notice here, if you have enabled multi-currency, then you can see your currencies created in your organization. Okay, this is the stock group. You can see your stock items. We will discuss about stock category also. Then unit of measures, if you have multiple unit of measure, you can see them. Then if you have created multiple godowns, you can see them. And these are the voucher type. For example, because we have not created any of the other masters, so it is going to be blank. Well, like, for example, let's say I'm going to click stock item is going to be blank because we have not created, and we didn't even understand, or we didn't even learned about the stock item, which we will cover in the fundamentals of inventory. Okay, so now we'll come to the voucher type. So if you see, these are the different voucher type that Tally provides by default. And in the upcoming session, we will also discuss about the relevance of each voucher type, and when do you use these vouchers, and what impact these vouchers bring for your transaction, especially for people who are from moving from a manual environment or from a college environment into the actual bookkeeping using Tally. So you will be wondering, these are the different voucher type, because in the manual we know that there is only one thing that we do. Every transaction we journalize. That is what we saw in our fundamentals of accounting, right? So we will discuss about this. So the idea here is that if you want to see the ledgers, you see on the top, I hope, I mean, like, in case if the my image is covering, so you will see this button, there's one button which says ledgers, and I just click here, and now we are back in the ledgers. Okay, so this is how we understand the chart of account. And now quickly we will go. There is no major change as far as the chart of account listing in Tally Prime. And we have seen that in the last class, that in Tally Prime, the chart of account is more, gives you more clarity, and it gives you a complete structure, so that what kind of master is going to go into which kind of your financial statement. Unlike we have this here in the alphabetical order. Okay, so now quickly let me just go to uh, Tally Prime, and I've already selected this company. And in the last class, we saw the chart of account is now in the gateway of Tally, right? So you just press H for chart of account, right? And now there is a difference. What we saw in Tally ERP, if you see it directly takes you into the list of account or chart of account. By default, it gives you accounting masters, and then you use your right hand side button bar to change the list of your other masters. But in Tally Prime, the moment you say, I want to view the chart of account, now Tally is going to give you the list of masters, and it is going to ask you now what kind of masters you want to view. So for example, by default, if you see the cursor is there on the ledgers. So when I enter into ledgers, it is now going to give you the same report, what we saw in ERP. 20, if you notice down, there is this 28 group and two ledgers. And we also saw how now it is much easier to comprehend that these what are the groups which forms part of my asset, liability, expenditure, and income. Okay, so again, it is the same thing. Now if you see here, bottom bar is missing in your Tally Prime, right? So that is why, it is important for us to note down this keyboard shortcut, and almost all type of keyboard shortcuts that we were using in ERP, you can use it in Prime also. Even though it is not visible here, you can use them. And that is how it allows the users to migrate from ERP to Prime, and start using Prime comfortably without much of unlearning and learning aspects involved. Okay. So similarly, again, if you want to create a master, okay, even though you don't see this bottom button bar, you want to create a master, put your cursor on the group and press Alt C. I'm pressing Alt C. It takes you to the group creation, what we saw, group creation master. If I want to create a ledger, I'm going to put my cursor in the in any ledger, and I'm going to say Alt C, and it is good. It is now allowing you to create the ledger master. You create your ledger master, and then you can go and change the name, whatever name that you want to select the appropriate group. Okay. So now comes the question that okay, I have seen my accounting masters. So how do I see my inventory master and my other masters, right? So again, remember your secret number one, which is your right hand side button bar. And on the right hand side button bar, there is this F10 button which says other masters. So if you want to see any other master, you come here and then click here. Tally is again going to give you this list of masters, and here you can select any master that you have created, like voucher type. Okay, we have seen all this: stock group, stock item, unit, go down, all those what we saw in ERP is listed here. You can select them. So for example, I selected voucher type. We are seeing the same type of 24 voucher type in ERP also. We saw when I click on the voucher type, I'm seeing 22 voucher types here in the uh, chart of account in ERP, and we are seeing 24 voucher types getting listed here. As I mentioned, we will discuss each of the voucher type and their relevance. Okay. So I think this should give you a fair idea of how do we identify a group, how do you identify a ledger, and how to create a group from the chart of account, how to alter again is the same thing. So you just press if you want to alter, just press enter. It will take you to the alteration screen. So we know how to now create a group, how to create a ledger, and how to navigate and view the masters of your accounting, inventory, and other associated masters for your organization. So I hope this would have given you some clarity for people who would have not seen from this light. It would help you now to understand the structure much better. Okay. So in the next session, we will discuss about the menu. Okay, so the master menu we will discuss about, and also we will discuss what are the different type of masters, and what how we can create a master. We will see that in our next session. So thank you all for staying till the end. So as usual, if you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe and share with your friends and colleagues so that they can also benefit out of the session. Thank you very much. See you until the next session. Thank you.